what's up, everybody, and welcome to NXT with Najee, episode 26, aka season 2, episode 6. And this is a part of the Whip Show, the Wrestling Heroes and Insiders podcast. This is the backlash or the aftermath of good old Halloween Havoc 2024. Now, a lot of crazy things happen. We're not going to recap it, but we do have a new women's North American champion in Fallon Henley. So that's pretty awesome. Big shout out to Fallon Henley. You deserve it. Um, Definitely looking forward to you getting some more TV time and us getting a chance to show you some more love. But this week at NXT was the episode right before Halloween. So October 29th. A lot of costumes there. We had Wendy Chu. We had Big Worm from Friday. We had Mario and Luigi. We had a Naomi cosplay. We had a couple Greek gods in the crowd. Miles Morales, whole bunch of people. A lot, too many to name. I myself was a Ninja Turtle. It's very hard to miss me. I was acting a fool the whole entire night. But you guys know how we get down. We do not cover the promos. We just cover the matches. And most of the time, I'm not by myself. And today is one of those days where I am not by myself. So, ladies and gentlemen, you might know this person from their Instagram page, Distracted by Wrestling. Does a lot of photography for all three brands whenever he can. Outside of WWE, works with a ton of different indie promotions as well. Way too many for me to even try to name. Ladies and gentlemen, coming from Orlando, we got Mr. Leo. Leo, how you doing, brother?
Doing good. What's up, guys? How you doing?
Doing good, man. Hey, so tell people who you are, what you do, how they can find your stuff.
Well, my name is Leo, but better known as my handle, which is Distracted by Wrestling. You can find me at your local indie show here in Florida. I work with, like he said, a numerous number of promotions. Shout out to Pride of Wrestling. They got a show November 9th out in the Seminole Recreation Center. Check it out. And then also work with CCW, Pro Wrestling Action. Again, more than that as well, but those are probably my three main ones amongst going to any WWE, NXT, AEW shows that I can and get the best shots.
All right. Man, I appreciate you coming on the show. It's definitely a blessing to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. So, match number 1 of tonight is a match that got decided by the wheel during Halloween Havoc. Tatum Paxley spun the wheel and got a casket match against Wendy Chu. Now, my personal opinion, definitely one of the matches of the year. I think it is something that people will talk about when NXT gives out their normal little ballots that you can vote for matches of the year.
It was
Great
also
match
the first women's casket
ever.
match as well. Sorry to cut you off, but
Oh
yeah,
no, you're good.
first women's casket match ever.
Ever. Period.
Yeah.
And it showed up and showed out. There was a Lego spot. There was a dollhouse spot. Paxley is just ridiculously over right now. It's really, really cool to see the NXT universe just grow with her more and more and more and just fall in love with her more and more and more. And so my question for you, because overall Paxley ends up winning this match. Now, my question for you with this one is, do you think that Paxley will stay this over? Do you think she even needs a title? And do you think that a title's in her future?
I would like to say a title is in her future. I think it would cement, you know, part of her run that she's going through right now. I also don't think she really needs a title. She's so over with the crowd. You know, she could be one of those circumstances where the championship, you know, is made by the person, or the person would make the championship. You know what I mean? Um, you know, I would like to see her win a championship, possibly the North American Women's Championship. Although we love Fallon Henley with it, you know, it would be great to see Tatum get that type of, at least more of that opportunity. She was very close to winning the NXT Women's Championship at one time, or NXT Women's Championship, sorry, one time, and it was, you know, crowd was obviously with her as well. But we'll see, you know, what the future holds for her. Definitely, she's, like you said, over with the crowd. I myself am a Tatum Paxley fan. Also, am a Wendy Chu fan as well. So this match was very hard to, you know, try and cheer for or boo for, because both these women are just great.
Yeah, dude, there were a couple matches like that on the card tonight. They were really hard to just be like, we're supposed to boo somebody here. We can't do it. But yeah, I agree, man. Tatum's just got it. And even when she went to TNA, like she was still showing so much love, and I didn't even realize that many people knew who she was, and maybe that's just me being super stubborn and stuck on NXT. Yeah, so Tatum Paxley picks up the win. So now we're gonna move on to match number 2. Match number 2 is Lexis King versus Charlie Dempsey. with the no quarter crutch crew with him. He never comes alone, of course, for the Heritage Cup. This one was a little weird. This match was a little strange to me. First round, as expected, Charlie picks up the first pinfall off of a butterfly suplex. Awesome. A lot of us are really kind of rooting for Charlie because the crowd still seems to be 50-50 on Lexus King. I'll say that. I'll say the crowd's 50-50. Yeah, and I'm gonna ask Leo how he feels about this because Leo is one of those people that I've seen in the crowd fully on the Lexus King bandwagon. But I'm not gonna say bandwagon. I feel like that's disrespectful, and I have a lot of respect for that man. So second round is where I have my issues with. At first, we got a little concerned because there was an injury spot, and we were concerned because we thought it was real. Now, as it goes along, you start to kind of figure out that, okay, like he's either going to pull a William Regal because William Regal's with him in this corner, which is very strange to just see him standing on the opposite side of his son. And at one point in time, he tries to like shove the brass knuckles in the ring against his own son, which I just felt like is an absolute terrible thing to do. But
Returning to
how
Rey
did you feel about
Mysterio
this spot?
points of deadbeat dad almost.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Showing some Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
Down, let's say. But how
Sorry.
are you feeling about this whole injury angle thing for round two? Because it really threw me off, and you could see it in the crowd. But I don't know. I just wasn't
It
feeling
scared
it.
me at first. So for those that don't know, I've known Lexus for a numerous amount of time, number of years. We go back and close. I'd say a personal friend of mine.
Oh, that's awesome.
Uh,
I didn't know that.
and so to see that spot, I was very worried. If it was legitimate or not. I talk a lot typically, and then I tell people if something's wrong, I'm generally really quiet. So that's how you know something's wrong. And I was pretty quiet right then and there because I was worried about my friend. And you know, it wasn't until I saw the medical staff come out that I was like, okay, he's okay.
Yeah, it's a work.
This is going to be a work. This is going to be it is a spot. And then of course he came back in, and they played towards that, and you know had a really good match. But in terms of the injury spot itself, I worried me quite a bit.
Yeah, it got me for a second too. I feel like the whole crowd, you just heard it get silent. And then at the same time, collectively, we were all like, man, come on.
Yeah.
They want everybody to love him so much. And I understand that he's trying to become his own character, and his whole thing is like, I'm not my father, I'm not like my father. But it's just feels so forced. It was so much more fun hating him. For me personally, I'll say that. Like him as a heel was so much more fun than him trying to be a babyface. And I feel like they're throwing it down our like in our faces, essentially. But um, like you said, he gets back into the match. He ends up getting beat off of a German suplex, which causes Charlie to retain his Heritage Cup. And we'll see where this Lexus King story kind of goes from there because they don't really know. Like he's not really
I
too
mean,
locked into
personally,
anybody.
I smelled a heel turn coming. I
Yeah,
thought William Regal was going to turn on him after the match. Um,
that would have been
because
pretty cool.
I thought that would have been pretty cool. Him then aligning with his son, North Quarter Catch Crew, as the veteran, as the old sage with wise experience. Um, I mean, even in some of the pictures I got, you can see his eyes looking at Lexus, and it's just like,
Hmm.
okay, the eyes tell a different story. So where that will play out, we don't know. Um, but I don't. I disagree. I don't feel like it's that forced in terms of Lexus trying to be a babyface. I think he's got a very likable personality. If you actually you know know him as well, I think maybe that's from it's just my own personal standpoint. Um, it's a little different for me, I guess. But I just love heels at the same time. So like for me, it's easy to cheer for the heels.
Yeah.
Um, you know, as a kid, big Triple H fan, still am.
Yeah,
Still,
it's
he's my
very
number one.
obvious. You see your
Um,
Instagram page. Big Triple H guy here.
yeah. Eddie Guerrero is my number two, and then Orton's my number three. All three, have been great heels. Going even further back, Roddy Piper, one of the greatest heels of all time.
Mhm.
But as he grew, as he obviously had more experience, people loved him. So I think it's not to say so much as Lexus is the next Roddy, but definitely I
Oh,
think he's going to be more likable.
dude's gonna be a star, dude. There's no way
Yeah,
around it. Like at some point in time, it's just gonna happen. I feel like right
yeah.
now that's why it was an NXT thing for him instead of a main roster thing off the bat because there's something just there that's gonna be different.
Yeah.
But he's still trying to find it and he's working through a couple ideas. At least that's what it feels like sitting in the crowd. It feels like he's working through a couple ideas and going
He's got a
like
lot of good things
fully
coming
committing
though.
to him. Yeah, fully committing to him. And I'm excited to see where it goes because this is clearly leading up to something
Yeah.
big.
You can
So
also tell he's having fun with this too.
oh, he's having a great time.
Because this
He's having
is
a
this is
lot of fun.
different to him.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna move on to match number 3, which was the debut of Zarya, aka, well, formerly known as Delta. Shout out to the airline for not allowing us to have that. Versus Brinley Reese. Now, this was really funny because as Brinley was making her way out, they cut to commercial, and there was a lot of banter from the crowd to Brinley being like, "We appreciate your sacrifice. We're praying for you," and she's like, just nervously looking at us like, and now we know why. Because watching that match, Zarya dislocated her whole entire like arm, elbow, this whole part, popped it right out of socket. And I don't know if this is a thing that Brinley could just do that we never knew that she could just do. And shout out
Almost
to
shades
her
of
because
Alexa
that is a
Bliss too.
crazy, huh?
Almost shades of Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, man. But
Alexa
that's
Bliss
a
had done that spot a
crazy
few
hidden
times.
talent. And you know how many times like Shawn Michaels loves a good callback. So
Yeah.
like, ooh, but we just ooh, and then she popped it back in at that, and then that made
It
it
was
even
just gruesome.
crazier. It was awesome.
It was awesome and gruesome.
Yeah, it was,
Yes.
but it was an unreal debut. It was basically what we thought the powerhouse Australian that Rhea already is, and then we got a Rhea cameo later, which we don't even really we're not gonna cover, but we all know what happened to Rhea. And shout out to shout out to Rhea for just being as tough as she is. For because I'm pretty sure it happened that Monday night before she came to NXT, and then they were just like, "All right, we're gonna have to work this in the storyline." But different conversation for a different time. So Zarya finishes with an F5 variation. That's
You can almost
crazy.
call it a Delta driver.
Yeah, but I don't know if we can say that. So it's
Delta
the Z
driver.
the Z5. We call it
Z5. I like
Z5.
that.
I
I
like
like
the
that.
Z5 because then
Yeah.
Z and you do that with 5 fingers.
See, you guys were
Perfect.
doing that
Yeah,
on
because
Tuesday, and like I know you guys were doing it for Zarya. I thought of something else.
oh
I thought of
no,
like the
this
movie Dudes
yep.
Where's My Car.
That's the reason why
Man.
that's the reason why we're doing it. Because if you saw her Twitter, I don't know if I don't think you were on Twitter as much, but she responded to somebody being like, "Oh, this makes me think of Zarya, but I bet you she doesn't know the reference." And then she like responded to it, and so it was
Yeah.
all over, and it was really funny. So that's why me, John, and Cleveland and all them were just like, or not, well, not. I don't remember if Cleveland was there. Yeah, it was. But we were all just like, screw it, we're gonna put up the Z's, and we're gonna try to make it a thing. We'll see if we can make it a thing in the crowd. But anyway, Zarya wins, and after this is what has the internet kind of going crazy because it's essentially like Endgame almost in a way, but it's 5 superstars that have been in NXT, put their foot down in NXT, have so much history in NXT, except for like Jasmine Nix, obviously, because she's pretty new. And then you have the other 5 who are essentially brand new, except for Kalani Jordan, who's been there for a while, like to NXT. Like they've been around for a very long time. But you have Kalani Jordan comes out, then you got Julia, then Stephanie Vicure, and then a returning Jordan Grace against Fatal Influence. Oh my
Team
goodness, it's just
2001.
unreal. Fatal against Fatal Influence and Roxanne and Cora Jade. Like
It's, it
it,
definitely felt like, almost like a moment that, where someone could come out and just give us one word, 2 syllables, war games,
yeah, that's
if
we
you
tried
would,
it.
you
We
know.
tried it. We just
Um,
yelled it as much as we could. I don't know if they cut us out because I usually haven't watched it back.
Honestly, I didn't even hear y'all saying that. So,
Oh, we were screaming it. We were like, "What?"
yeah,
Oh man.
no, definitely. It's what a moment, Zarya making her debut. Um, Phenomenal, like show of strength. The moment with Brinley had me shaking.
Just cool. It was awesome, man.
Brinley. As soon as Brinley came out, I was like, I was like, hey, I knew. I was like, ah, dang it, she's the sacrifice.
Yep. Brindley
And so I
Reese,
was like,
if you're listening or watching or see this, we appreciate you for everything that you did to make that moment happen. Because
yeah. In my household, we love Brinley because also Brinley is also uh, from my neck of the woods in Northern California.
yep. Okay.
She knows my hometown very well. I know her hometown very well. So it's one of the things we have bonded over. But again, like I said, impressive debut from Zarya finishing her match with the Z5. That's what we're gonna call it.
And we're calling that the Z5. It's
Yeah,
right here on NXT with Najee. You're hearing it. We're calling it the Z5.
Z5. And then, of course, like I said, that moment afterwards, just what insane. Uh, I love when things go to chaos. Um, it just seeing all those women brawl was absolutely crazy and it was awesome. Um, poor JC Jane got hit with the Z5, I think it was as well. You know, we love JC in my household as well.
Yep.
Um, but then Roxanne just getting hoisted above, you know,
Oh, they bullied
uh,
that poor girl.
just bah!
That was
you know,
worse. That to me, that was almost worse than what Lash did to Kyrie, but we don't need to talk about that either.
Oof, yeah.
But all right, so I do have a couple. I got a question for you though. So somebody in that ring is going to be the one that dethrones Roxanne. My money, I'm still saying I would put all my money on Cora Jade, and I'd be willing to die by that. Like, and I just don't see it happening any other way. But
So I I could see that too. That's the issue. But personally, I think it's going to be either Julia or Stephanie Vaquer. Um, love them both, but to me, Julia is more the superstar versus Stephanie is more like definitely just a beast in the ring. But here's where my scenario comes in. I think it's going to be either one of those two women, and it's going to be Cora's fault why she loses the title. And again, we'll have another implosion, thus leading them to a program that possibly ends at Stand and Deliver.
loser
Because
leaves
that's
NXT.
exactly
Roxanne
that.
versus Cora Jade. Roxanne loses.
Roxanne loses. That's her call up to go
Bye.
to the main roster because there's nothing less for her to accomplish
Dude,
unless she
literally, she's a two-time
chose,
women's champion. She's done everything. The only thing left is the
unless
North
she
American
chooses to go,
Championship.
yeah, unless she chooses to go that. But
You don't
she
need
doesn't
it
need to
though.
at the same time.
You don't need it. She deserves
Um,
whatever that mid-card title that's coming for the women's, like on the main roster. She deserves that to at
yeah,
least very early. Like just like how they kind of threw Lyra into everything. They need to
yeah,
just give her that treatment with Roxanne. Period.
yeah. I mean, I would hate to see her go because NXT has the best women's division in any company, any
Bro,
brand.
damn near
Um,
except for like Stardom. Like,
well, yeah, because that's
gosh,
all women's promotion.
because Stardom is
Um,
a cheat code. But like we
yeah, or Shine down here in Florida when they do their indies.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's definitely yeah, I could see either Stephanie or Julia being the one to dethrone her. Like I said, and thus causing the tension between Cora and Roxanne, thus leading them to that program. Or very well could be Cora. Cora becomes a face,
This was
and
supposed to be her run in the first place.
yep,
If she wouldn't have got hurt, this was her run. She
yeah,
was supposed to be the one going against Julia because that was the original like talk. And then once
yeah.
Roxanne got it, then boom. But all right. So now we're gonna move on to match number 4, which kicked off right after this. Returning Nikita Lyons. This is her second TV match. She's been doing a lot of house shows recently. She's been looking great against Kalani. Now, it's hard. This is another one of those moments to where it's really hard to boo either of these people. Yes, there's a lot of people that don't vibe with Kalani. There's a lot of people that don't vibe with Nikita. But at the end of the day, like we really don't have a reason to boo them. They don't suck. They just aren't everybody's cup of tea. I love them both personally. I'm a big fan of Nikita Lyons, big fan of
Big Nikita
Kalani,
guy.
and
Kalani needs a little bit of work in my eyes, but it's more character based.
yeah.
Versus in ring, she's amazing talent. For me, it's the character that I connect towards a lot more people who have different, more in depth characters.
Mhm.
But phenomenally gifted in the ring.
Now, my theory is slowly coming true. This Nikita Lyons and Oba Femi team up is on the way. I'm feeling it in my bones, y'all. Because now, in the middle of this match, right when Nikita's about to possibly get the win, Rizzo comes out and attacks Nikita and lets everybody know it was you. It was you that attacked me. I know it was you. It's proven that it's you. Da, 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 da. And now this ties into Oba handing Nikita the jacket 2 weeks ago. I'm real hype about this. But during that distraction, that causes Kalani to end up picking up the win. Now we're gonna move on to the main event. There was only 5 matches tonight. It felt kind of very promo heavy of a night, but there was a lot going on. We have Nathan Frazier and Axiom, our tag team champions, taking on Javon Evans and Cedric Alexander for the tag team championships. I'm pretty sure every single person in that room, except for maybe a handful, thought that the titles were changing hands. It
It
felt
was
that way,
what a
but
match.
it was fantastic, man. It was Javon is
Had me
unreal,
had
but
me
he
on the
felt
edge of my
off.
seat.
I will say this: Javon felt a little off tonight. Cedric looked like he was Javon's age the whole entire match, dude. It was unreal. I think that man right now might have one of the best chops outside of Gunther. Like, dude, he would. If you watch Axiom's chest throughout that match, welts on welts on welts on welts. Unreal, man. But Javon, just like I said, he didn't seem focused, like he had something in the back of his mind. And then Wesley comes up. And that goes to show you that right in the back of his mind, Wesley is still living there rent free. Javon can't quite focus. And because Javon can't quite focus, they lose this match. Now, remember when Jeff Hardy and Rob Van Dam had a program together? And it was like the coolest thing ever because some of the best people you've ever seen leave the ground in professional wrestling were just going at it. And they just had so many different things that they could do that didn't involve just high flying moves.
Hmm.
We're about to see this all over again in this Javon Evans and Wesley rivalry. And I want it for a while. Like I want that more than the Andrade Carmelo one. Because that's gonna be good. Like, how are you feeling about that whole entire situation with Wes and Javon?
I mean, I'm excited because these are two guys that just, again, I've said it a few times already, but phenomenally gifted, in the ring. Javon, I had the pleasure of meeting actually before he came to NXT, um, and just as good gifted as he is in the ring, in a WWE ring, and he was gifted, on the independents as well. Um, so he's always had, it. He's always had an intangible, thing about him that just made him a star. Wes, been rocking with Wes, for a long time now. Um, when he did this heel turn, a lot of people were upset. I was excited
I like it.
because I love it. He's done so much as a face, as so much as a good guy. Now to see, okay, let's go even further. See how more what he can do as a heel. Love it. Um, and even when he was with the Rascals, and other companies and MSK, and they were even teased as heels. This he wasn't this type of heel. Um, so seeing him do this, turn excites me to see what he's going to do with it. Him and Javon, like you said, there's very similar, you know, things to Jeff Hardy and RVD. Both these men high flyers, but both these men can also probably get ground and pound doing the technical game. Um, and speaking of RVD, we did see him at the end of the night as well.
Mhm.
Which was leads to what could be happening next week.
Triple
You
threats.
know,
In a perfect world,
yeah,
triple threat
he's
match.
the special enforcer. Who knows?
But we already have one special guest referee.
Yeah.
You
Well,
don't need
which is
enough.
why I said special enforcer.
Yeah.
But maybe he could be the guest timekeeper. Who knows? On
Nah.
commentary. Knowing RVD, it's going to be something,
He still wrestles,
five
dude.
star.
Give us a triple threat. Give
I
it
mean, the
to
man
us.
can still go. The man can still go,
Yeah,
which
man.
is just insane, especially at his age. Um, but must be all the stretching he does.
Yes.
Put it that way.
Yes. And some
He's very
stretching.
flexible, man.
Yes.
Um,
All right.
very zen.
All right, y'all. Well, hey, that wraps it up for the recap of the show. Now, this is the part of the time where I ask my guests a couple questions so that you can get to know them a little bit. So now, Leo, my questions for you. Your love for wrestling is very, very much documented. It's very obvious. And you've got to go a lot of places, do a lot of cool things, see a lot of great matches. In your media travels, what moment or what match really like had you in the moment, like either teary-eyed or just super excited or just very, very happy? What moment sticks out for you?
Um, in terms of excitement, there's so many different ones connected to different emotions. Excitement, probably was WrestleMania 39. Shane McMahon came out, and I've been a big Shane McMahon fan. I'll go on record to say I think Shane McMahon is better than Jeff Hardy, which is a wild thing to say, and I understand that. And I will
Wow.
go on my own island if I have to with that statement.
Dang.
But
That's crazy. That's
here's the
bold,
thing:
man.
Jeff Hardy, as great as he is, wasn't a McMahon. So, Shane didn't have to do any of that stuff, but he still did. Um, and just, insane. Always been a Shane fan. So when he came out at WrestleMania 39 against Miz, it was just, I dang near fell up on my seat. um, then of course, like more happy, you could say WrestleMania 40 when Stephanie McMahon came out. She was actually my first crush. Most people was
Hey,
Kimberly from Power Rangers. It was Stephanie McMahon for me. So shout out to Steph. Love you.
that just makes me want
Always
to say
have, always will.
makes me want to say shout
Thank you
out
for
to Jordan
acknowledging that
too.
you were my first crush as well. Yeah. uh, Thank you, Steph, for acknowledging that you were my first crush and saying thank you for that.
Hey,
Because that happened at WrestleMania 40. Um, cool moments was actually probably I got to walk the stage at AEW, I believe last year as well. So that was a really cool moment that I got to do with thanks to some friends that over there.
that's cool,
Um,
man.
but there's honestly so many more I could say, but there's I just enjoy it. I've been blessed and been grateful for every opportunity that I've been given.
Heck yeah, man. Well, that's awesome. That's a great moment. That's a hell of a story. So now my second question. Now we gotta do our best to contain this one because we only got about like 6 minutes left. So, like myself, you are a huge Dragon Ball fan. Me and you have sat there plenty of times. As you can see, he's wearing the Patara. For those of you who aren't watching and listening, he's wearing Patara earrings. Just one though, just so we know it's just him and not anybody he's fused with. But with October basically feeling like a fever dream for Dragon Ball fans, with Daima being released and also Sparking Zero being released, how did you feel about both of them? Have you seen Daima yet? And have you? I know you played Sparking Zero, and I know we could rant about that forever. But what is your brief review on that game and your experience with it?
Sparking Zero so far, I love it. I love that you can actually do alternate choices to what the anime had done, uh, you know, in their episodes, which makes it cool because it opens up so many different stories that you could possibly tell, and so many stories that you could possibly do. I'll go off just the first choice alone. You can either choose to work with Piccolo or not. In the anime, he works with Piccolo to defeat Raditz, but you can choose to not and go it alone. Technically, Krillin helps you, but I think it's great. I love the open-ended choices that it kind of gives you. In terms of Daima, I have yet to watch Daima. I have,
He's
yeah,
waiting on the English dub.
I am waiting on the dub. I nothing against those who watch the you know original format with the Japanese with the English subtitles, but I myself am spoiled. I like to watch the dub.
It's all right, man. Teach his own. Teach his own. But yeah, I like Dime a lot, and I think that if they do it justice with the English dub, I feel like you'll probably enjoy it too because it's actually quite a lot of fun and it looks amazing. Like the animation on it is I don't even know how to explain it, but it's just really really good. And if this is what we have to look forward to for the rest of this franchise going forward and potentially Super coming back, we're spoiled. Like that's really what it is. But all right, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. This is now the part of the show where you get to plug yourself in one more time so that everybody else can find you and follow you and hopefully support you and gain your support as well.
Well, like I said, my name is Leo, but on Instagram, I am at Distracted by Wrestling. I'm also on Facebook. You can find it by searching Distracted by Wrestling. You can search all through all my posts. I've done, like I said, WWE shows, AEW shows, independent shows here in Florida. My goal is to get out to more companies out of the independents outside of Florida. But yeah, come check it out. Instagram is where I'm biggest on. Uh, Not big on Twitter. Maybe in the future. Who knows? But at Distracted by Wrestling, thank you so much, Najee, for the time. It's been a blast conversating and talking about NXT because it's one of the best brands there is, if not the best brand.
You're right. You ain't lying, brother. Hey, yeah, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. NXT is going to Philly. Unfortunately, I will not be going. I had plans to go originally. Things just didn't work out. But it should be a heck of a show. I'm not sure if I'll be doing a recap for it or not. I have a pretty busy week ahead of me, among some other things to get ready for. But yeah, hopefully we will be back soon. I appreciate you guys for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, follow the Whip Show. This is a part of the Whip Show, the Wrestling Heroes and Insiders podcast. My name is Najee. This is NXT with Najee. That guy is Leo. I appreciate you again, brother. You guys have a good day. Good night. See you.